If you crave dark romance where danger rises without warning, where protection is silent and restraint is chosen again and again, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Tonight's story begins during a citywide blackout, and with the vampire who escorted me through it, and never let my pulse spike. The blackout hits without drama. No explosion. No sirens at first. Just a sudden collective breath held across the city as the lights die all at once. Office towers go dark. Street lamps blink out. The hum of electricity vanishes, replaced by something older: voices, footsteps, unease. I'm still at work when it happens. The emergency lights flicker on, painting the hallway in dull red. Phones buzz. Someone laughs nervously. Someone else swears. The elevators lock in place with a hollow thunk that makes my stomach drop. Everyone stay calm. A supervisor calls. We'll escort people out in groups. That's when I notice him. He's standing near the security desk, completely still, as if the darkness didn't surprise him at all. White, tall, pale in a way that feels deliberate rather than sickly. Dark hair pulled back neatly, coat buttoned high, posture controlled and watchful. He isn't holding a flashlight. He doesn't need one. His gaze lifts the moment my pulse spikes, sharp and immediate, locking onto me through the dim red haze. He steps forward. I'll take her, he says. The supervisor hesitates. Do you have clearance? Yes, he replies calmly. Something in his voice cuts through the uncertainty. The supervisor nods without another word. I blink. I didn't ask. You don't need to, the man says quietly, turning to me. Stay close. I don't even know you, I say. My name is Soren, he replies. And you don't want to be alone right now. That should scare me. Instead, it steadies me. The steadiness is unfamiliar. Fear, I know. Panic too. But this feeling, this sense that something dangerous is deliberately holding itself back for my sake, settles into my chest in a way that feels almost intimate. Soren notices. He always notices. Your breathing changed, he says quietly. I'm fine, I reply. Yes, he agrees. You are. But you're thinking. That's allowed, I mutter. For humans, he says gently. Thinking often makes things worse in the dark. A half a weak laugh. And for vampires? For us, he answers. The dark is where we learn discipline. That should unsettle me. Instead, I ask, is that why you're here? Discipline. Pause stretches between us. The emergency lights hum faintly, painting his features in red and shadow. When he answers, his voice is lower. Yes, he says. And because blackouts draw the wrong kind of attention. From who? I ask. He doesn't answer immediately. His gaze shifts, not scanning for danger, but listening inward, as if tracking something beneath the noise of the city. From those who mistake fear for permission, he finally says. My stomach tightens. I'm guessing you don't, I say. No, he replies. I mistake fear for responsibility. The words sink deep. We don't move yet. He doesn't rush me into the stairwell. He waits until my pulse settles, until my shoulders ease, until whatever instinct he's reading quiets enough to make the next step safe. Okay, he murmurs. Now. We move together then, and I become acutely aware of how carefully he matches me. Not leading. Not following. Just close enough to intervene without controlling the direction. Halfway down the stairs, my phone vibrates uselessly in my pocket. No signal. No light. Just a reminder that everything I rely on is gone. I swallow hard. Soren's hand lifts slightly, not touching, just hovering near my elbow. Ground yourself, he says softly. How? Listen to me, he replies. Not the city. I focus on his voice. The calm cadence. The steadiness. The way he never raises it, never sharpens it, even when something in the air feels wrong. It works. By the time we reach the lower floors, my pulse has steadied enough that his attention loosens slightly. I feel it like pressure easing. You really can hear everything, I say. Yes. Even when I pretend I'm fine? Especially then. I wince. That's invasive. Yes, he agrees. Which is why I'm careful with it. That phrase again, careful, follows him everywhere. When voices echo in the stairwell, he adjusts instantly. When footsteps sound too close behind us, he slows, positioning himself just enough that I feel shielded without being trapped. You've done this before, I say. Many times. With other people? Yes. And you always walk them all the way? No. What's different tonight? He doesn't answer right away. Tonight, he says eventually, you didn't freeze. You didn't run. You trusted me before you understood why. The admission sends warmth through me that has nothing to do with safety. That matters to you, I say. Yes, he replies. More than it should. By the time we reach the street, the city has begun to unravel. People cluster in uncertain groups. Voices rise and fall. A car alarm blares uselessly somewhere in the distance. Without light, everything feels closer, threats included. Soren stays nearer now. His hand finally settles at my wrist, light and deliberate. My pulse jumps, then steadies almost immediately beneath his touch. Better, he murmurs. You're regulating me, I realize. Yes. That feels intimate. It is, he says. Which is why I don't do it often. Why now? Because you're not resisting, he replies. And because losing control doesn't always mean violence. Sometimes it means panic. We walk in silence for a stretch, his presence a constant anchor. I start to notice how much effort it takes for him. Not the walking but the restraint. The way his jaw tightens when my pulse spikes unexpectedly. The way he loosens his grip the moment it's no longer necessary. You could just knock me out, I say suddenly. Or carry me. Yes, he agrees. But you won't. No. Because consent, I finish. And dignity, he adds. Fear strips people of it quickly. I refuse to help. The respect in that answer settles into me like something solid. By the time we near my building, the blackout has stretched long enough that the city feels altered, exposed. My body knows it too, fatigue creeping in, nerves fraying. Soren senses it instantly. You're tired, he says. I didn't sleep well, I admit. Then we'll slow down. You're escorting me, I say. You don't have to match my pace. Yes, he replies calmly. I do. We stop once just outside the building and he listens again, longer this time. It's clear, he says finally. For now. For now, I echo. His hand leaves my wrist, and the absence feels sharper than the touch did. I'll stay nearby, he says, until the power returns. You don't have to. Yes, he replies. I do. Because you're security. Because I chose to be. He corrects. The difference matters. We step into the stairwell together. The door closes behind us, sealing out the noise of the office. The emergency lights here are dimmer. Shadows pooling thickly along the concrete steps. You're very calm, I say. Yes, he answers. Blackouts don't bother you? No. Why? He glances at me. Not my face but my throat, my wrist, the hollow beneath my jaw. Then he looks away sharply, jaw tightening. Because panic travels, he says. And I'm listening for it. Listening. I repeat. He doesn't answer. We descend slowly, his pace matched to mine exactly. He stays just close enough that I feel his presence like a wall at my side. Never touching, never crowding. Halfway down, voices echo below us. Too loud, too sharp, fear edging toward chaos. Soren stops instantly. Pause, he says softly. I freeze without thinking. He tilts his head, eyes unfocusing for a fraction of a second. When they sharpen again, his expression has changed. More alert, more dangerous. Stay behind me, he murmurs. Someone stumbles into view from below. Breathing hard, laughter brittle and wrong. A man I don't recognize, eyes darting, posture loose in a way that sets my nerves on edge. Lights are out, the man says, grin too wide. Perfect time to get lost, huh? Soren steps forward, subtly blocking my line of sight. Keep moving, he says coldly. The man scoffs. Who are you supposed to be? Someone you should avoid, Soren replies. The man hesitates, then shrugs and disappears back down the stairs. Only when his footsteps fade does Soren relax. My heart is racing. I'm fine, I say automatically. Yes, he agrees. You are now. We continue downward. Your security, I say. Yes. You don't look like it. That's intentional. We reach the ground level, but the garage doors are sealed, emergency protocols locking them in place. The city outside is chaos. Shadows moving, voices rising. No lights to keep things orderly. You live far? Soren asks. A few blocks. You'll walk with me, he says. Not a question. I can manage. He stops and turns to face me fully for the first time. No, he says quietly. You can't. Not tonight. The certainty in his voice steals my argument. Why me? I ask. A pause. Because your pulse reacts faster than your fear, he answers. And that makes you visible. My stomach twists. You keep saying that like it matters. It does, he says. Especially to things that hunt during blackouts. I stare at him. Things. He exhales slowly. I'm not human, he says. I laugh weakly. That's not funny. I'm not joking. What are you then? A vampire, he replies as if telling me the time. The word lands heavy but not shocking. Something in me recognizes it, slots it into place with unsettling ease. You could hurt me, I say. Yes. But you won't. No. Why? Because you didn't consent, he replies. And because I don't feed during emergencies. Panic contaminates judgment. That's oddly ethical. A faint curve touches his mouth, gone as quickly as it appears. Restraint is survival. We step out into the street. The city is unrecognizable without light. Cars abandoned. People cluster together. Shadows stretch and twist, hiding too much. Soren stays closer now, but still doesn't touch me. His hand hovers near my back. Not pressing, just present enough that I know it's there if I falter. You're listening again, I say. Yes. What are you hearing? Your heartbeat, he answers. And others that don't match. I swallow. Halfway to my apartment, something changes. The air thickens. My pulse spikes sharply, fear flaring before I consciously register why. Soren reacts instantly. Stop, he murmurs. I stop. He steps in front of me, one arm lifting slightly, not touching but blocking. From the shadows across the street, something moves wrong. Too fast. Too quiet. Another vampire. Soren doesn't bare his fangs. He doesn't snarl. He simply stands, presence hardening into something lethal. She's afraid. The other vampire murmurs. You feel it too. She's protected, Soren replies. For now. The confrontation is swift and brutal. I don't see all of it, just motion, a sound like bone cracking, a snarl cut short. When it's over, Soren turns back to me. Control taut but intact. I'm sorry, he says. I didn't want you to see that. I'm not afraid, I say, surprised to find it's true. He listens. Nods. No. You're not. We resume walking. This time he doesn't hover his hand. He gently takes my wrist, light, deliberate, grounding. My pulse jumps, then steadies under his touch. Breathe, he murmurs. I do. You said you wouldn't touch me, I say. I said I wouldn't take, he replies. This is to keep you calm. You're very precise with your rules. Yes. Why? Because breaking them once cost me everything, he says quietly. I don't ask what that means. We reach my building at last. The lobby is dark but safe. You'll stay inside tonight, he says. And you. I'll remain nearby until the power returns. You don't have to. Yes, he replies. I do. Why? Because you trusted me in the dark, he says. And I don't abandon that. I hesitate, then ask, will I see you again? His gaze sharpens, something unreadable flickering behind his eyes. Yes, he says. Blackouts happen more often than people think. I unlock my door and turn back once more. Thank you, I say. For what? For not letting my pulse spike. A pause. Then softly. You're welcome. The power returns the next morning. The city pretends nothing happened. But I know better. Because every time the lights flicker now, every time the shadows deepen, I remember the vampire who walked me through the darkness without ever taking advantage of it. And I realize something I can never unlearn. The most dangerous thing in the dark isn't the monster who hungers. It's the one who chooses restraint and stays anyway.